Hello and welcome to another edition After the Whistle, November 8th. It's cold outside. I'm here, Todd's here. You got the St. Mary's gear on. I almost wore this. I got that same hoodie. I almost wore mine.
It's pretty warm, actually. Could be a little more, lined inside, but you got like the fleece-ish type feel inside, so you can't be mad at that.
Yeah. I got my headphones on, too. So, because people get upset with me having headphones on. Apparently having headphones on around your neck is an issue.
Around your neck?
Headphones around my neck, headphones like this, headphones like... It's just the whole headphones is an issue for some people. I don't bother by the headphones.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I don't get it, because just some people worry about every little thing. Some people worry about things that actually matter. And that's just...
And some people got informants that go around tattletaling. Oh, he has his headphones on in class, or he has his headphones on. Like...
I mean, those are the same people that were telling on people in school when they were younger, that weren't getting invited to parties, that probably got picked on, so
Yeah, I've been telling the kids, don't be a tattletale. Because what benefit do you get from telling on, especially when you tell on stupid things?
And they going out their way to tell on you? Like, for what? Like, what do they benefit? They getting paid to tell on you? They getting, like, something? Like, they doing something for nothing? I don't understand that.
What was that? Who said that? Like, we live in a generation of people who love snitching.
I remember. It's the lanes, man.
The tattletale. There's a whole story behind this.
I know.
Yeah, it's funny, but...
And I've had to deal with certain things similar to this.
Yeah, and also kids don't ever lie on people. Don't lie on people. Nobody likes to be lied on. And then when they ask what's the specifics, you should be able to provide that detailed information instead of saying you can't provide that information, because at this point, he say, she say.
My whole thing is, if you're going to be around the youth and you're going to try to tell them to aspire to be decent, upstanding people, you have to hold yourself to that same standard.
Indeed. They probably watching too, and I don't care. But we know what we do. Well, we actually don't care, but we kind of know that's this season was going with the Patriots. At this point, every time we watch, it's like, how are they going to lose this game?
It's not even they anymore. It's the coaching staff and Mac Jones. They had a chance to win the game, and he threw up some flippity-flop. I don't even know what that was. The man was wide open. Nah, he's done. He's done, bro.
Yeah, so a lot of people was saying Juju got to catch that. I get it. He got to catch that. But the announcer, the play-by-play guy, said it best. There was no need for him to throw the ball at that spot in the game, in the middle, where you had a guy open in the flat. There was no need to force that pass.
See, some passes, mishaps happen, but that last play I was talking about that caused the interception, I think, right?
The end of the game?
It looked like it was a punt. And I don't think anybody hit him before he threw it. I was like, what is that?
I don't get it's kind of it's kind of like he's had many chances this year of just trying to show everybody that he's still a pretty decent quarterback, and he has his fault, but there's still some good things there, and then the stuff we could work on. All the late game drives that's happened this season, it could have absolved him from a lot of criticism. But he keeps throwing interceptions in these critical moments.
I just think some of these quarterbacks that were coming in the season questionable on how they were going to perform this season are feeling the heat, because they got some dogs coming out of college after this year.
Yeah.
Got 3 or 4 bad boys that can sling that thing, pause. So, but what I mean by the coaching staff and Mac Jones, because why do you have him throwing the ball 44 times? You go scoreless in the first and the fourth. I'm sure your running game could have helped you when you was averaging 5.6 yards a carry. 2 runs, that's the first down. If you strategize it correctly, and you only ran the ball 19 times, so you really I feel like they're setting this man up for failure. They're like, show me what you can do before we get rid of you. That's how I'm feeling, because it seems like they're going to stick with him for the remainder of the season, which you know, whatever, because the season's already what it is. But he has to perform at a decent level for them to consider keeping him for next season when they got some guys that are coming in. And I don't know if the NFL draft is similar to the NBA draft where the bad teams get the higher of the picks. But
ain't no lottery.
Oh,
the NFL draft, if you got the worst record, you get the number 1 pick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Tank for Caleb, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Shoot. Tank for Caleb.
But the thing is, it's not like they're trying to tank. They just can't win. So, as much as we love to root for y'all every weekend, which we will continue to do, y'all might as well just start, looking at, the draft.
Yeah, it just shows the talent level is just not there. Especially you're playing against another team that's trying to tank, kind of on the verge of tanking. But Washington pretty much controlled this game. The 15-minute differential and the time of possession. Yeah,
I mean, let's
they
be real.
Scored in the red zone. Well, I mean, 1 for 4, but they got to the red zone more often.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I mean. They made more plays because you're not going to get anywhere if you only convert three third downs the whole entire game. So you can't even continue drives, which is a huge problem. But somebody had to win the game.
Yeah, somebody had to win the game. It was like what Charles Barkley said. This game was like 2 ugly girls fighting.
What's the positive coming out of that?
Exactly.
You're right. Charles got the money with it. It took me a second. Like,
Patriots. Game of the week, Philadelphia and Dallas. It lived up to its hype of the game of the week. But the last minute of the game was pure comedy. If anybody watched this whole game and watched that last minute, I don't know how you didn't laugh, because I was laughing the whole time, because Philly was like, trying its hardest to give Dallas the game, like trying to give them the game, giving them all the opportunities, and Dallas was just like, no, we kind of just don't want to win this game. We don't. You get all the way to the other side of the field off penalties, then you're down at like the 2. They were at the 2, and at some point they ended up back at like the 30 or something on 4th down. I was like, what in the world happened? Penalties, sack. It was. That last 50 seconds was a hot mess.
Yeah, I actually missed that last part of the game.
Oh, man.
I wasn't really too concerned about this game. I had Philly winning anyways, I think. So, I mean, kudos to Dak. He performed well, you know what I mean? Did he fumble at all?
I don't think so.
All right, well, he had no intos. And the man threw the ball 44 times, which is rare. And, 374, 3 touchdowns, 8.5 yards to throw. Like, Dak did what he was supposed to do for stat-wise, but you're playing against a team that's just well-rounded and finds a way to win games. They just find a way. They can beat you on the ground, beat you in the air. They can beat you by being disciplined to a certain extent, or they can just capitalize on your mistakes. It's just... And the defense can beat you too. So
and it was a game, and they say football is a game of inches. It definitely was, because Cowboys had a touchdown that got taken back because the dude caught it, but his knee hit the ground before the ball crossed the goal line, so they had to settle for 6. Then on the 2-point conversion, Dak had it, but he steps out of bounds before he could stretch out to convert it. So right there, it's just like the game of inches. And I think we've reached the point of Dak. We've reached the point with Dak where we gotta congratulate him on having a good game and losing. And this is the funniest thing in the world. It's just hilarious, because we kind of reached that point. Like, he gets a lot of criticism, but now it's just like they lost, but Dak played well, and just like.
Because they do give him a lot of criticism just because of the franchise he plays for. Yeah. Because most quarterbacks, there's only like 1 or 2 quarterbacks every 10 years that come in the league and just out the gate. Like Mahomes, and who's the other one we got?
Burrow?
Yeah, Burrow. You could even say Allen to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But like that definitely Burrow and Mahomes. But yeah, man, he just It's sad. It's sad, but you know, unfortunately, he's with a prize franchise and he has to produce. And he's been producing better this season than most predicted. Yeah. So you know.
But sometimes he brings it on himself too. Sometimes he brings it on himself with some of the comments he'll make and like getting snarly when he asks simple questions.
Snarly.
He brings it on himself. But Philly, once again, all they do is just win. No matter how it is, they just win and go about their business with the best record in the football right now, 8-1, trying to get that home field advantage again. Across the water we go. Was this game in Germany or something?
Yes, sir.
Football in Germany, very interesting. Don't know the correlation, but very interesting.
I mean,
Miami.
They're trying to make it global, like global.
Yeah. Miami still can't beat a good team. They still just can't beat a good team, which is very weird for a highly talented team like this. But one thing people got to talk a lot more about is Kansas City's defense. Nobody talks about their defense. And this is probably the best defense they've had in a while.
Yeah, what they had them scoreless for 3 quarters?
Yep.
They didn't score they only scored 14 points in the third. But to be honest, it seemed like they were playing a mirror of themselves. And vice versa. I feel like these teams are like built the same way offensively.
Yeah.
If you look at the quarterbacks, their stats weren't that far off. You know, one had one extra touchdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just everything, the amount of times they run the ball, like it just seems like they rely heavily on their quarterbacks, and whichever quarterback made enough plays was gonna win the game.
And yeah, but like both of these teams are very talented as well. And then you look at what the difference in the game was. That fumble recovery for a touchdown by the Chiefs, that's literally the difference of the game. Miami did a great job of slowing down the Chiefs' offense in the second half. But, yeah, that fumble recovery and then Miami's inability to consistently move the ball. Which is
weird because they were getting 5.6 yards on the ground. But, you know, they rely on Tua a lot. And they rely on him, I feel like, in the wrong times where you should rely on the run. Especially when you outrunning them.
Yeah. I feel like they missed the rookie that's injured. Achin, is his name?
I don't even know how you probably pronounce it.
Yeah, but I feel like they're missing him right now because he's that.
I think it's Achin.
Achin.
Yeah, I think it's Achin.
Yeah. But he's that guy that's their big play guy. So they're kind of missing that big offense. Mostert, he's capable of doing that, but the other guy, he could just go for 80 yards on the carry, and then he's really like that guy in the backfield. It's like the strength in the backfield.
But I was just saying, just because the Chiefs' run defense is just so bad compared to their offense.
Yeah.
And you see how many yards they gave up, and sometimes I feel Miami too is the guy, and you want him to bring you out of victories, but sometimes you got to rely on those 5 guys you have rushing the ball, which could have helped you. You know what I mean? Make things easier.
Keep them off the field. Keep that Chiefs offense off the field.
That's usually the game plan of most teams.
Yeah. All right, the Ravens right now might be the best team in football, or one of the best teams in football. The way they've been playing, that's 2 weeks in a row they've had a team come to their house, and they pretty much ran them off the field. Lamar Jackson, he didn't have to do anything too crazy. The running game was working. They got Odell involved in the game. He got his first touchdown as a Raven. And then the Ravens defense with that's back-to-back weeks where they had another stellar performance.
Yeah. I mean, it isn't really much to say. Like, it was a whooping. I'm glad Baltimore was putting up more points. I felt like I didn't see many 30-point games coming out of, coming out of Baltimore pause. And
This is 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so they remember I said earlier in the season that I feel like they don't score enough, or they're having a hard time figuring out how to score. But once again, they're clicking, they're getting everybody involved. Congrats to Odell for getting his first touchdown of the season. Hopefully we see more. But yeah, they're just a well-balanced offense that can beat you multiple ways. Yeah. Quarterback running, running backs running, receiving, defense. Especially, you're playing Seahawks, who, aren't the worst team, but I feel like they're not as good as their record claims. Yeah,
definitely. And they got a nice little stretch coming here, back-to-back home games against the Browns and the Bengals. In their division, everybody's 500 in that, only separated by 2 games. So they got big big home games coming up for them, they could really separate themselves and give themselves a chance to get that home field advantage in the playoffs. And the biggest thing is keeping Lamar healthy for these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for these last 8 games going into the playoffs, because that's one thing that's been the issue with them. Lamar in the playoffs. Like, either he'll get hurt in the playoff game or he won't play in the playoffs due to injury. So if they're able to keep him upright going into the postseason, you never know. They might make that run. Somebody got to beat the Chiefs at some point in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
All right, lastly, 2 more. Vegas. I'm only talking about this because the Raiders looked so happy after that game.
As they should.
There was partying. It felt like that annoying relative that finally just like went away, or y'all got him to go, and everything's loose. They smoking cigars in the locker room after the game, and their offense looked like an NFL offense, because it hasn't looked like an NFL offense for a while.
It makes you wonder, like his name McDaniels, right? Mm-hmm. The Jack McDaniels. Was he on that Jack?
He was on that Jack Daniels.
Only because I just feel like there was some spite, there was some personal issues in regards with between the coach and the players, because it was just weird how you're not targeting certain players. Mm-hmm. Like, you got a guy who just came from Green Bay who has a microscope on him. He's an all-pro wide receiver, and he's barely getting looks. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's past the coaching plan. I feel like that's a personal vendetta. Yeah. Like, then you trade dude. You trade, what's his name?
Carr?
No. The tight end.
Oh, Whaler.
Yeah, you trade him, like, for what? Because he invited you to a wedding? But that was like a little joke. But it's just certain things he was doing. I just felt like it was deeper than football.
Yeah. I mean, this is McDaniels. For some reason, he just likes trading away talent. He did it in Denver. He did it here. Probably would have done it if he probably would have traded Andrew Luck if he actually took that Colts job.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. But I'm glad they got rid of people now, because I feel like some of these people make decisions feeling they can't get removed, or they're gonna be able to finish out the season. It's like, nah, sometimes you got to get dropped when you're doing things like this.
Yeah. And with Daniels, he's just,
and I was never happy about this decision anyway, so.
Everybody and their mama knew that was a terrible hire. But I was listening to a podcast, and Mark Davis' defense, not for hiring McDaniels, but Mark Davis, he had the coach that he wanted, but everybody kind of, he had to get rid of the coach that he really liked in Gruden. He had to get rid of him because, people wouldn't let up. So it was kind of like one of those, I don't want to do this, but I gotta kind of thing. Because he definitely wanted to keep Gruden, but.
Gruden got some issues. Issues.
But that thing's kind of been died down, but when it gets brought back up, man, yeah, Gruden got it. He got a claim, because out of all the people in the league, owners and all that, it's just him. His emails were the only ones that had stuff like that involved. Like, come on now.
I can only imagine, man.
Right. Can't wait till they pull all those out. Lastly, I give a shout out to C.J. Stroud. He set some rookie records, over 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns.
I'm a fan of him.
Yeah.
Nah, like when I heard about all that, but then when I seen that on that final drive, I said, oh, that boy nasty.
Yeah.
And that boy special.
Yeah, he is. And it's hard to find a franchise quarterback, but Houston in the offseason, they found their franchise quarterback. The head coach, first-year head coach, DeMeco Ryans, seems to know what he's doing. Got those guys playing hard each game. They're 4-4. Nobody thought they'd have a 4-4 record.
Shout out to the homie that was kicking.
I think it was the running back.
Yes, shout out to him. Yeah, he made a field goal. No, he made an extra point. No, it was a field goal, I think. I could be wrong. And then he did a kickoff. So, like, that was impressive to me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since high school.
Yeah, Mr. Do It All. But, yeah, this is – and I feel like going into the season, C.J. Stroud was kind of the overlooked rookie that people weren't really talking about because I think it was Anthony Richardson and Bryce.
Bro, I wasn't paying him any attention. I don't even like the Texans, but I'm rooting for him.
I forgot he was drafted by the Texans. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie. I forgot he was drafted by the Texans, but yeah, good for him though. He got those guys playing. Nico Brown, he's actually on my fantasy team, so shout out to him.
Yo, question, random. NBA play, NFL and NBA players allowed to have fantasy teams and stuff, be in fantasy leagues?
Yeah.
But it can't be for money. Oh, it can be for money now?
No, well, fantasy football, you play in money leagues and stuff like that, so, you know.
Before sports betting was allowed, were they still allowed to do that?
Yeah.
So what's the issue with all the other stuff before sports betting was allowed? Then you can do fantasy and you bet and you're making money. It's like the same thing. And you can do it with your own league.
What you mean? Oh, like doing fantasy? Yeah, because, yeah.
All right. That's weird to me. All right. Just a random question. All right. I mean, now it don't matter just because sports betting's allowed, but I was just random thought beforehand. I wasn't sure if they allowed all that because it's still a form of like betting.
No, you're not really betting. Fantasy
Man,
football.
It's still it's form of gambling. You put money up, then you like sitting out plays and.
No, you play. So fantasy football, you pay in the beginning before the season even started. You just pay to be in the league, and then all that money, the winner gets the money at the end. So it's not like weekly gambling and stuff. But there is daily fantasy stuff. That one I'm not too familiar with.
I mean, now I feel like damn near almost everything's allowed, but they have clauses in their contracts where they can't bet and do certain things. But I was asking solely on fantasy, like if someone's in the NFL, could they have a fantasy league with the NFL, or does it have to be in a different league, like NBA? You know what I mean? Like, was that contrast of interest? You might have inside sources and all this stuff, and money gets involved. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I think most NFL players they have their fantasy football leagues are with their teammates.
Yeah, so I don't really know. You know, I don't play fantasy either, so.
Yeah, don't, man. It's driving you crazy. As you can see. Okay, time for our high school football recap. We had Joey Barrett and we had Joe Casey. Joey and Joe joined me. Yeah, it was cool. Check this out. We are back. We got a high school football recap. We joined by guests. We got Joey and we got Joe. It's a trio up here tonight. How's everybody doing?
Good, very good.
Yeah.
Excited to be on.
Yeah, Joey had to bring you on. He said you got the game, so.
Yeah.
He's the future. He's gonna take my job.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we always welcome new faces here. We're like the UN.
Yeah.
Man, what we got to talk about? Let's recap a little bit of last week. We'll start with the teams that made the playoffs first. We'll start with the team that actually won, Kip. Kip came in there. Their coach said they've been waiting for the postseason. And it showed.
And their star players were ready to go.
Yeah.
You could tell just certain players rise up, like the Mornells and the Chanels, and they were just ready to go. And some mistakes on defense. They got to definitely tighten up.
Oh, yeah.
Literally and figuratively, but the offense kept them ahead, and they kept the lead. So Kip's looking good. I have them going another round, I think.
Yeah, and Coach Rabbit's done a tremendous job this year with them, and last year as well, going back to their Super Bowl appearance. And I think I talked to them a couple weeks ago, and they're excited for the playoffs, and they've kind of said unfinished business was kind of their thing going into the rest of this tournament. They're excited to hopefully make another run at Gillette later this year.
The thing with Kip, it's offensively they could keep up. They could play whatever style you want. If you want to grind it out game, they got the running backs and the quarterbacks they could just hand off and we'll do this. And then if you want explosive games, got probably the best receiver in the city, one of the best receivers in the city. You just throw the ball, he makes short passes into long gains. So that's the thing. They just got to stay healthy too. They got to stay healthy. I know the last two losses in the postseason, health really was a concern. Losing the quarterback one year, then the quarterback got injured again in the state title game and stuff like that. So you got to keep those guys upright.
I wonder if Kip might try to slow down its offense maybe, just to keep it on the field longer. I wonder. I mean, I'm going to leave that to Coach Rabbit, who's obviously very good at what he does. So I'm curious to see what they do.
Yeah, because this Carver team, from what I've seen, they put up a lot of points from what I've looked up. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, defensively, is the thing that you guys mentioned, is going to come down to what they can be able to do to see how that game goes. Obviously, offensively, they can do what they want, but with that Carver offense, and a number 2 team in the state for a reason in Division 8, so it's going to be a good one.
You got to also take into account the drive. The drive. Traveling for a postseason game, it's the drive that really gets your energy low, and it takes a little bit to get. It takes a little. Sometimes it takes a little bit during the game for you to actually get into it and get to your old selves, because I don't know what Carver is, but it's far. And that's one thing as a student athlete, you don't like being in them long car rides for a while, because
type it into your Google Maps and go, ooh, it's a little far.
Yeah,
if they're lucky, they can come off the bus in full pads though and look very intimidating.
Yeah. Or school give them Friday off so they could just make that trip on Thursday night, so they go over there, stay at a hotel and say, that's wishful thinking. Well, good luck to them though. St. Mary's, I was hoping they win this game because we would have got an epic matchup between St. Mary's and Salem this week. But we did not. They fell short, and they were down. So I was keeping up on Twitter. They were down 21-6. 3 seconds later, I look, they're up 22-21. Then I look again, they're down 40-21.
I know I keep sounding like a broken record every week, but young players making big plays, it's such a good sign for St. Mary's.
Yeah.
The fact that in an atmosphere like that, they can come back at their age and take the lead on Spelman. So a great season for the Spartans, though, without a lot of their star players. So,
and I think, like you said, the youth kind of showed in some of the games this season, right? Especially in that last game as well. But to the positive point, it brings so much for the future for St. Mary's and what they have going. I've obviously fell in the first round this year, but with that core group they showed this year, it's definitely for the future.
Injuries too. My goodness, they were so rattled with injuries, and I believe Maxwell got hurt in this game. Maxwell Parent, I think he got hurt in this game and didn't finish out the game too. You had Ernie came back, but he wasn't 100%. From the videos I saw, you could tell he wasn't 100% because there were runs that he would normally break for long touchdown runs. He was getting caught. Joe Maggs just got back. It was a lot, but they did do a lot with some of the stuff that happened to them over the season. They did accomplish a lot. So
going off your point about injuries, even for the players who were active on Friday, even if the roster looked good, they weren't together all season. It's hard to gel in an atmosphere in a game like that when you haven't been practicing or playing in that game atmosphere. So lots to look forward to.
And it's hard to beat a team twice in their house.
In a few weeks.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to do. But great season by the Spartans. They definitely got a lot of guys coming back. A lot of guys coming back for next year, but they still got 2 more games in this season. All right, let's go into our non-playoff games. Lynn English, Essex Tech. Yeah, go ahead. I bashed English enough. They won the game, but oh my gosh, 13 points.
Lynn Tech and Lynn English. I think low scoring.
You think low scoring?
I do think low scoring, but I think it's going to come down to big plays. I think, and who can execute near the red zone. That's what I would say.
I think Coach Lafrada of English has done a really nice job again with what he's been able to do with that group. Again, I think, like you said, low scoring, I think is going to be the way to go, but don't be surprised if English can maybe pull off an upset.
Well, from what I've seen in the season, which teams and you guys have you seen make more big plays consistently this season? That would be Tech. I've seen a lot more big plays from Tech than I've seen from English. And I've seen a lot less mistakes from Tech.
I've seen some long runs, and that's what I think the game's going to come down to is English is running attack versus Tech's aerial attack. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I can see that, but Tech does got a ground game too. That's their emphasis right there is the ground game to set up the pass game. So the biggest thing for Tech is containing Limbert. They gotta keep him from going outside. Once he starts scrambling and he gets outside and he gets in space, they're in trouble.
Yeah, and he's been able to keep them in some of the games this year with, like you said, with his athleticism, his feet, he can really extend plays. So that's where I think a lot of their big plays come from, and I think Tech's going to try to really hone on in on that in this game.
Yeah, I think we might see a lot of guys in the box for Tech.
Yeah.
Or a QB spot or something like that.
It's all going to come down to who's going to open the hole, who's going to break through. I'm telling you, it's a big play game.
I believe these two teams were supposed to scrimmage each other or play in the preseason before the season, but hey, good thing they got this one going. I can't tell you the last time English and Tech played each other in a football game.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't even tell. I was trying to think back. I think it might have been early 2000s or the late 90s. They might have scrimmaged each other, I think. But
Wow.
yeah, it's a long time. What else we got? We got Classical. They are taking on Wakefield. Tough loss for Classical at Lawrence last week, but 2 school records were set by Brian Vaughn Jr. and John Askey Jr. I think he set the school record for receiving yards and I believe receptions as well. And Brian Vaughn broke the passing yards and touchdowns. I believe those were the 2 records.
Yeah, I mean, not being biased, I honestly think quarterback-receiver duos in the state, they're obviously in the conversation, and you could really argue number 1, 2, 3. So, again, unfortunate break that they didn't make the tournament, but so many positives to take out of the season if you're Lynn Classical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those 2 weapons alone, like you said, showed that they're one of the best duos in the state. And again, it's unfortunate they didn't make the tournament. I think they could have made at least some noise with their big playability, but it'll be interesting to see if they're able to kind of round out their season with these last couple games as well.
Yeah, and I think Maskey leads the state in receiving yards. I think he's a state leader.
I know he's up there.
He's
Yeah,
number
he's
one.
definitely up
Yeah,
there.
last I checked, he was number 1 in the state in receiving yards. And also, this is another team. They played a lot of young guys, so they do have as they finish the season out, they do have a lot of positives going into next year because there were a lot of young guys that were playing that had to step in for injuries. So they got the athletes and the talent around. I mean, you're going to lose your quarterback, but they have a freshman quarterback who I think next year is going to be one of the best in the city. He's going to make noise.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you like to envision what some players will do at the collegiate level. Do you think John or Brian or anybody can make a lot of noise?
John definitely. John is a Division I college player.
Yeah, I agree. The way he
He's
runs routes in his hands. Yeah.
You can't coach speed. That type of speed, you can't coach that. And he knows how to use his speed, makes plays everywhere. He's a Division I player. I don't know why these college coaches haven't really locked in with him yet, but they got to get it together. Do we have one more game? Is that it? Am I missing one? Are we missing one? Are we missing a game? St. Mary's is going to Swampscott Friday. But we already talked about St. Mary's.
I think St. Mary's will squeak that one out.
Yeah.
Swampscott's very young and a first-year coach, so it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But successful seasons on both sides, so be a good game. In my opinion.
Yeah, it should be. Once again, teams that don't normally play each other. So when you get these non-conference games like these, it usually turns out to be pretty entertaining, and it's a good showing for a lot of kids. Because some kids from Swampscott actually end up going to St. Mary's too. So recruiting. I mean, they don't recruit in high school, but could be a recruiting tactic, I would say. Who you got for the playoffs? Who do you have for the games?
Ooh, we've got Peabody, we've got Kip, we've got St. John's Prep. So,
Which one will you be going to?
Which one will I be going to? Probably the Prep.
Prep versus BC High. Sure.
Yeah.
What you say?
I'm hoping for. I think it'll be at PBD. I went to PBD last week. They had a big impressive win over Arlington, and they got a huge game against Barnstable. Yeah,
They're home.
They are. PBD's at home. Yeah, against Barnstable, the 4-5 seed, and Barnstable was able to put up a lot of points last week, as was PBD. So it's going to be, I think, a high-scoring affair there.
Peabody's been putting up a lot of points all year.
Oh, yeah.
They're like one of those teams. You could keep them down you can't keep them down that long. You can only, at some point, they'll just explode up for like 20 straight points or something like that. I'll be in Andover tomorrow for Andover and Weymouth. I'll be there. Yeah, that should be exciting. I was there last week for Andover and Franklin. Yeah, turned 19-0 Andover. And then Friday I'll be Xaverian and Springfield Central.
That's a good one.
That's the best game in Division I.
That's got to be, yeah.
Yeah. This is the third or fourth meeting in the last couple of years. So it was a variant has lost each one.
The item had 31 teams in state tournaments. We're down to 11. So stories are getting a little harder to come by now, but we're taking care of it.
On the bright side, basketball season is only a couple weeks away, so
Oh, yeah.
Basketball season's coming right around.
We're getting ready. I got to put up my first team for second team, third team. Go on Instagram. Go on my LCTV After the Whistle. Those will be up on Instagram actually later today. There've been some debates over that one, but plug your social medias in before we get out of here.
Joe Casey 02 on Twitter.
Yeah, Joey Barrett on Twitter or X.
X. Everyone call
Twitter. I'm not. I'm not calling it X. Any new articles up? What we got?
Well, he goes to about a game a day and turns around some features.
Yep.
I'm doing the same thing, so itemlive.com.
All right, soccer recaps already up there, and
Oh, yeah.
Got big St. John's Prep game tonight as well. The Division I soccer, so it should be exciting.
all right. Make sure y'all check those out. Thank you, fellas, once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our time's kind of coming up, Joey, with these football recaps. We got only a couple more weeks to recap some football games.
Yeah, we were scrambling a little bit there.
Yeah. It's all
Usually
good.
we've got like all 5 against teams that we know.
Right.
It's like Salem versus
Have a
Classical
good
or
one,
something.
ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's. All right, and we are back. Next up, we got our high school football games of the week with Bill Newell. We talked about some of the playoff games this week that are going to be happening. So after this week, it's the Final Four next week, and then we wait until the state championship game. Let's check this out. Right, and we are here joined by Mr. Bill Newell. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm good. We're only, man, it's like we got this week, then Final Fours next week, and then it's Turkey Day.
Absolutely. And then after that, who knows what's after that, right? But
Right.
championship. Guess it'd be like a championship week, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get to our games this week, which games kind of surprised you last week, or didn't surprise you last week, I should say?
Well,
Either or.
I guess there was a lot that didn't surprise us last week. I do think, though, that Marblehead was a winner over Middleborough, which is a number 3 seeded team in Division 4. Marblehead 14th seeded, just barely got into the tournament, but was playing nice football, good football right at the end of the season. They pulled off the win. They're on the road this week at Grafton, the number 6 seeded team. So in theory, a lower seeded team than the team they beat a week ago. But you never can tell with these matchups. They're not perfect, they're not bad. I'm not knocking them, but they're not perfect. And we've noticed that. We've seen some of that in some of these divisions, but it's just going to be hard to so whether they can pull that off again, whether the cards line up for them or not, who knows? But that'll be a tough one for Marblehead on Friday night out there.
Especially in Division 1. In Division 1, there was no surprises in Division 1. Everything that happened in Division 1, it's no surprises. The top seeded teams are all advanced in Division 1. We had that one upset in, I think, Division 6. We had the upset in Division 6. Stoneham defeated Abington. I was actually at that game. It was a pretty good game. Stoneham.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I noticed that today that Stoneham was in there, and I'm thinking, wait, where are they? But they were a pretty high, a pretty low seed as well.
Yeah, they were 15.
Yeah.
They were 15.
Yeah.
Not your
So
typical
they just
15 seed as well.
Yeah. So, but they have a very good. They've had a good program over the years. So we'll see about that. But another game is this Kip game playing at Carver, a team that's undefeated this year, right?
Yeah.
So
Coach Rabbit is well aware of, when I spoke to him before their game, before their game against Sutton, he told me he was well aware how good Carver is. He said they're going to pose a big challenge for his team this week. But I think the way Kip's offense has been playing, I think they could. Kip seems like the team that could play in any type of shootout.
Yeah. No, you know, that's kind of what I was thinking. And then I did look up Carver. And we were just talking about that a minute ago, and they're undefeated. They beat Cohasset. Cohasset is the team that beat Manchester Essex, and so it's a tough call here. But you're right. I think Kip's got to play. They're one of their best football games of the year if they're going to come out with a W here. But it's doable. This is a number 2 seeded team and a team that. It looks like they played a decent schedule to get where they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks to be a matchup of 2 good offenses too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A good bunch of points as well.
Yeah, Carver's putting a lot of points up on the board week after week. But you know, and then again, maybe the schedule's not as tough as it could be. But clearly they're a good team. They're an 8, and you know, they've got the what was it, the number 3 seed? Number 2 seed. Excuse me. So.
The key for me, the key for Kip is always going to be Mornell Castro. I think he's the biggest difference maker on that team. Granted, they got other difference makers as well, but he is the difference maker on that team. That offense goes when he has great games. That whole offense seems to be rolling whenever he's being productive, and that's been the case this whole season. That's one player I've really been high on all year of his production, and I think he's going to be the one to lead them to victory if they're going to get back to the Final Four.
Yeah, and you know, as we've talked about before with them, they're more of a team this year in the sense that they're you know, they don't have, you know, they have good players like Mornell Castro you mentioned, but they have other good players, great players, but on the other hand, they're pretty solid across the board from 1 to 11 on that team. So yeah, so that'll be a good one to watch. The other one is Salem. This Salem team, man, they've lost like 2 games, and they've lost those 2 games by what? A total of 3 points, I believe it is. Something, you know, right?
Yeah, total. 3 points total. To correct.
Yeah. So, and you know, I was also thinking about this the other day, and their last regular season game was a loss to Peabody, and you know, if they had lost to Peabody, which is also still alive in the D2 tournament. If they had lost to Peabody by 10 points, no one would have been surprised. At least, you know, us kind of guys would not be surprised to see that score, because Peabody's in Division 2, Salem's in Division 6. You know, you're both undefeated more or less going into the game, and Salem had the 1 loss at that point. But anyways, you know, but they lost by a point, whatever it was, and nearly had a chance to win the game. So, you know, it's just crazy. But they've had a fantastic year. They had that shootout win. You're speaking about wins last week. That was a nice win for Salem, because they're being challenged. That Dennis Yarmouth was a high-powered offense, and they held them to 23, maybe something like that.
26.
26. Yeah.
But I think the last points came late in the game. The game was already decided.
That's right. That's a good point. Right, and they a couple of scores late. At least one score very late. So yeah, it could have been even a better defensive effort. But they did give up some points late in that contest in the last few minutes. So yeah. But very impressive. I mean, you're checking off the boxes. Salem is every single week, and you know, they've had big games all the way down the stretch here in the second half of the season and into the playoffs here. Yeah. So, I mean, this would be nothing new for them. And it seemed to me they're up for the task. And they're lucky because they're at home. They've got another home game here coming up against Cardinal Spellman. I think a very tough opponent for them, but at home.
One thing I'll say about Salem is, if you want to talk about proving people wrong, because there was plenty of doubters on thinking that they weren't that good. Early on, before they got to that classical game, they were just beating on cupcake teams, and then they shown they could compete with the best of them. Even when I made a mention of how after that classical game, the players told me that game showed them that they could play with anybody, and I hope it showed everybody else. A lot of people kind of laughed at that comment. You know, a lot of people had a little chuckle on that comment, like for some reason, but. Yeah, I can't say enough about Salem, what they're doing offensively, defensively. All those guys are really productive. And now, I know I was praying that we got a Salem St. Mary's matchup, but Cardinal Spellman, it's just hard to beat a team twice in their house. It was hard. St. Mary's went there, they fell behind early, then within like a 2-minute stretch, they came, not even a 2-minute stretch, like a minute stretch, they took a 22-21 lead, and then it was, I don't know what happened in that fourth quarter, but I guess Maxwell Parent got hurt in that game or something. But yeah, that fourth quarter, it was all Cardinal Spellman. Spartans really couldn't stop their offense, couldn't stop them in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, and just back to Salem for a moment. I did talk to Coach Matt Bouchard this week from Salem, and he wanted to single out Albert Pujols. And, you know, he's a young man that caught that pass at the end against Glasgow, but he's also really picked it up defensively. So, you know, you've seen them, and they can make plays on offense, and they can also make plays on defense. And Albert Pujols is one of those guys out of safety position. In, you know, when you come against some of these teams late in the year, they have some guys who can go up and get the football. And so Pujols has been stepping up defensively, and that's a huge key for this team, I think, moving forward. One of the huge keys if they can continue on.
Yeah, and just the story of the Salem program itself, you know, being a doormat a couple years ago, not having players coming out, to now, you know, you're a game away from a chance at from the semifinals, and a little closer to the state championship game. Like, what a story that would be if they're able to run the table and pull that off.
I know, unbelievable story. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. We got Marblehead and Danvers in the North Shore, some other North Shore teams that also advanced. Marblehead with the upset. I forgot who they upset.
Yeah, it's Middleborough, right? Middleborough.
Yeah.
And now they're out at Grafton on Friday. Danvers is a team that Blackstone Valley, they hung on to beat them 20-19. And they were up 20-0, I guess, in that game. And Blackstone Valley had a chance with a field goal right at the end. So they're kind of thinking to themselves, well, wait a minute, how well did we really play last week? So they know they got to step it up this week. And I talked to Coach Ryan Nolan from Danvers this week, and you know, they got a lot to work on this week, he feels. But that's a good thing. You know, you survive, you move on, you play another game, and you have a chance to pull it out. What I heard is they were passing the ball 2 weeks ago. Prior to that in Marblehead, they didn't pass the ball that much, but they can run and pass. And if they can get that nice balance and somehow make it all work at Dedham on Friday night, then maybe they can move on themselves. It's just they're a 5 seed and they're playing out a 4 seed in Dedham. And again, what that means, who knows? But
I think sometimes at this point, those seeds, it evens out. It kind of evens out. So you don't know what type of game you get, but most likely you probably will end up with a close game, just because of, you know, the talent level kind of evens out when you get to that point with teams that are that close in rankings. And Danvers, that's another program, man. They've really been making some noise the last several years.
Yeah, they've played tough, and they've played a tough schedule for a number of years now. You know, you mentioned another thing too. We were talking about Division I. So the Prep is hosting BC High Friday night, a team they beat a couple of weeks ago down there to wrap up the regular season. But while there have been some close scores, I think, in some of these divisions, in Division I, the scores in the opening round, not close at all. You know what I mean? There's no game that I would consider a close game. You know?
No, none of them.
Nothing.
I don't think each team that lost, didn't get to 10 points.
24-7 was the closest score I see right there in D1.
Yeah. That's the closest one. Everyone, the highest points from a losing team was 8 points, and that was Taunton against BC High. So,
Andover won 19-0. Weymouth won 20-0. I mean, but I still wouldn't call those close. You know, 2019, that's close.
I was at the Andover Franklin game, and honestly, it could have been a lot more. Just Andover, they had a lot of missed opportunities. They had some chances in the red zone. They didn't capitalize. They didn't capitalize offensively. They didn't play their best. Defensively, they played their best, but offensively, they didn't play their best. So that score could have got a lot worse if offense was clicking. That Prep game, St. John's Prep and BC High, I don't know what it's going to take for BC High to beat the Prep, because they haven't beat them in a long time, and the games have not been close. Last year, when they played in the regular season, the game was close for a little bit, and then the Prep pulled away. This year, when the Prep went over there, it was that ground game once again. If you can't stop their ground game, you're not going to beat the Prep.
And I'm not taking anything. I mean, the Prep, you have to play who you play. But if they really weren't challenged that much by Leominster, they had the game in hand early on, but they jumped out to a fast start, and that's what you'd expect with a 1 seed against a 16 seed. But like we mentioned, some of these other teams are being challenged week to week to week. So, but I think the Prep knows what they're doing, and they'll be ready for BC High on Friday night. And I would be surprised if it's anything other than kind of a similar score to what you saw down there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, one thing about Coach St. Pierre's guys, they never take their opponents lightly. No matter how much better they are than their opponent, they don't take them lightly. They approach each game very seriously and try to handle the business just so not give the opponents any type of confidence.
And the coach always says it's all about how they play. And something and I believe him. I mean, that's what and why not frame it in that context for your players? Because that is something that it's all about them. It's all about their preparation during the week. It's all about them, how they come out and play on a Friday night. And it's not so much about their opponent. Obviously when you get into these closer matchups later on, it'll be about the opponent as well, but they just got to do what they got to do, and they should be able to compete.
Yeah, definitely. And the matchup, the biggest matchup or the game of the week in any division, I believe it's that Zavarian Brothers versus Springfield Central game. That one they played earlier this season. Springfield Central, I think, has beaten them the last 3 times. Though they've eliminated them the last 2 times in the postseason. A little rivalry there, but these are teams with 2 really good players all around. Springfield Central was bringing in a freshman quarterback who's highly heralded. Zavarian got their senior quarterback who's already signed to Michigan State. So, hey, you never know. But I think that's going to be the game of the week for sure.
You think so? Yeah. As well as, and it's at Zavarian. So
it's at
the number 2 seed. They've got the home field. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think the last game they played was at Zavarian. Springfield Central went over there and beat them. But they had a back and forth affair before Springfield Central pulled away in that game. So that's
okay.
That's where I'll be Friday.
Nice. All right.
Who do you have on this week on the podcast?
For coaches, we had Coach Brian St. Pierre, Ryan Nolan of Danvers, Matt Bouchard of Salem will be on this week. I know I'm missing somebody here. We'll have Jim Rabbit from KIP on, and who am I missing here? I'm missing somebody here. This is not good, but I think we'll have other coaches on. Rick will have some other coaches as well. I know we got Colin McQueen from Amesbury. And also Pat LaMusta from Linfield High School. And, I know I'm forgetting somebody here, but I can go back on my notebook here.
I'm going to listen to the podcast.
No, that's all right. Yeah, that's fine. They'll find it.
They'll listen to the podcast. Will you be at any of the games this week?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I think the Salem game is the big game to go to in this area right here for sure. It's a home game Friday, and it's every time Salem takes the field now, it's special, it's unique, and it's they're making some history in a way, for the program in these playoffs. So it's a big game for Salem and a big game for the area, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you once again. We only got a couple more of these before it's all done.
Yeah. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There we go. Yeah.
Always. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, and we are back. All right, time for our sports update. Okay, college basketball tipped off Monday. Yeah, Monday tipped off, and we done already had some upsets. James Madison defeating Michigan State. That was interesting. Colorado girls defeated LSU. Girl with the red head was shooting the lights out. That was interesting. You got March Madness in November.
Entertaining, you know.
Very, very.
It'll be all right.
This is the first game of the season too. But the fans were killing me though. In that Colorado LSU game, one fan said she was too busy making mixtapes instead of working on her game in the offseason. I was like, yo.
Don't even. Yeah. Don't even.
I was like, y'all some pop people.
I mean, let's be real though. You talking about Angela Reese?
No, the other girl on their team, the one that actually be rapping.
Oh, the God.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see what happened.
Oh no, it was like the fan trash talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they both was everywhere this summer. I don't know how much they was in the gym, but they gonna get right.
There was another person saying they too worried about being IG models instead of hoopers.
I mean, that comes with the territory now, man. You're going to be on there doing all that. You got to show and prove when it's time. Especially when the reason why you have all that, I want to say, attention on you is because this is what you do.
Yeah.
You're a Division I athlete, so you got to show and prove. You want all that. You're going to do all the extra stuff, which is not a problem. I'm all for it, but just be all in with everything.
It was hilarious. Those were some funny trash talking. I was dying when I seen
dope,
that.
though. I mean, at least it's appropriate and it's clever.
Yeah,
I like clever trash talk. Just don't
same.
be raunchy and ratchet. It's like, come on, man. You ain't got no class or any taste. You know what I mean?
And we got some folks coming back. Paige Buckets is coming back. Returned this year. I think women's side of the women's college hoops is going to be very interesting because so many players are back, and then we got so many talented players. The girl from South Carolina, the freshman.
I see her. I follow her.
I just started following her yesterday.
Yeah, she nasty.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, she was doing some things out there.
yeah, Juju broke Lisa
She has 32.
Yeah, broke Lisa Leslie's record for first game
Nah,
points.
nice.
I mean, she was already a star too. And it looked easy for her too.
And that's the thing, like the skill-wise, the girls are definitely like improving. You know what I mean? Now we just need the athleticism to come out, which naturally just certain girls just don't have that in them.
Yeah.
But there's a girl from Canada. Coming out. I don't know if she already came out yet, but she be dunking with two hands and all that. Like,
Oh boy.
yeah, I ain't never seen you a clip.
I think I've seen her.
Yeah, she's everywhere. So as soon as we start seeing that, I feel like that's when the WNBA game will completely turn around just because it'll be way more entertaining. There's a chance you might see somebody get dunked on. Imagine saying that. Like, that's crazy.
Facts.
Exciting.
World Series, the Texas Rangers. They're finally able to claim to be World Series champions. I remember the last time they won the World Series, I think they were playing the Cardinals, and they had the chance to close out the game, and then they choked it away and ain't heard back since then.
For the year.
But they caught it. They got the title. Good for them. Another Texas team winning the World Series, and yeah, this is a good thing for Texas. Looking for the year that they last won it.
Yeah, when they last won it.
I have no idea. It's been a long time. It's been Pedro. When the last time the Rangers won a World Series?
Never.
What?
It's the first time.
Oh, that is their
For
first
real?
time.
Yep.
Oh, well, first time for everything. Congratulations to them.
That's crazy. Yeah, they made a couple pennants, did some division titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't even win one when Texas Ranger was around. So that joke was irrelevant.
Oh man! So congratulations to them. We got the college football. They got the rankings out. The college football playoff rankings. So Ohio State is at number 1. Georgia's at number 2. Michigan 3. Florida State at 4. Outside of that is Washington at 5, Oregon at 6, Texas at 7, Alabama at 8, Ole Miss at 9, and Penn State at 10. The top 5 teams are all 9-0, and then the next 5 are all 8-1, which is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm surprised Ohio State's number 1, but
I'm not surprised by this because this is still the elite of the elites.
yeah.
They always find a way to make sure they come out on top.
Yeah. But I was just like, well, Georgia's still, they was number 1 going into the season. They haven't lost a game.
Strength of schedule, style points, how much you like. How like this blows my mind. How's college football like one of the only sports where you can have style points? Where it's okay to beat the brakes off somebody, embarrass them as much as you can. But in basketball, you got moms calling principals and headmasters and stuff
getting coaches suspended.
You know what I mean? And coaches suspended, almost fired for because little Timmy got got his ass waxed. Pause. Like, you know what I mean? By 50, which is not that bad compared to beating somebody by 80 points in a football game. Like, that's crazy.
Very
I just don't understand why. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, before we go into our interviews and coaches aspect, I just need to tell you this story. Okay, so Boston College played Fairfield on Monday, right? A story that didn't get as much attention that it should was Fairfield's head basketball coach. He had to step down from the position just before the season started. You want to know why?
I'm sure you're going to unpack it for me.
Well, the man went to Costa Rica, and he was wilding in Costa Rica. Like, wilding. Sleeping with prostitutes.
Tell me, all right. I mean, no, I'm not like, do what you do. But, like, was he doing this? Like, what? Like, where's the problem?
I think he was doing it on company time.
So he took the team to Costa Rica?
No, I think he was using like company cards. I don't know, but he was.
Tell me.
On company time.
How do they know about the prostitutes? Was the ladies have like, you know what I mean, like credit card swipes in their purse? Like, how you gonna track that? Like, I don't understand how. Like, did he come clean or something? Like, what we doing here?
I think he came out clean. I think he came out.
Whoa, brother. Take something to the grave. To the tomb, my man.
Well, yeah, I was like, yo, why isn't this a bigger story than it should be? I remember Bobby Pacino, and he was cheating with one of the grad assistant workers. He tried to hide it, and then the neck brace after the motorcycle accident.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But
I just remembered that.
Yeah, let's go to the interviews. We got Bob Almeida. We've got EJ Perry. We got Timmons McKinney, Earl Grant. And for players, we got Sean Kilty. We got Connor LeBron, Dominic Papa, Mason Albike, Quentin Post. So check these out and we'll come back. All right, Coach, your guys came in here. You guys, from the opening drive, kind of set the tone. Despite having those 3 fumbles in the first half, your guys found a way. First, how were you guys able to slow them down offensively, defensively, and then offensively, what did you guys see that kind of had you guys going in that run game?
Well, we prepared really, really hard to stop the things they really want to do. The buck they run it really well, the buck sweep, and we've spent a ton of time on it this week. What little week that we had, we spent a lot of time on it, and you know, I thought the kids they did exactly what we coached them to do all week long. You know, but they are some good tough runners, but we were good against the run for most of the night, and then the pass game kind of opened up a little bit of their run game as the game wore on, but we were able to get the big stops when we needed them.
The turning point in that game was that second half. They started off, they were moving the ball. It looked like they were getting themselves in position to score, and your defense came up big, forcing that turnover. How huge was that just for the psyche and the momentum?
Just like in the first half when we turned the ball over, that gave them all the momentum in the world, and that you know, led to points every time. 2 of the times, but that absolutely, I mean, that was a dagger for them. That was tough for them when we got that turnover. But you know, it snowballed us for the rest of the half.
And you guys got the big 4th down stop on defense. What did you tell them prior to that to that 4th down stop?
I think we were 29 seconds or whatever it was away from moving on, and you better fight with everything you have, and they did.
You're on to the second round. Yep. You guys are really excited for the opportunity ahead of them, knowing that they know what it's like to make a deep run, and they're trying to make that run again.
We've been there a couple of times, so. Yeah, we do, but you know, we know nothing about this opponent, but we're just so excited to be moving on and beating a 2 seed.
All right, congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Coach, opening round Friday night, the defense really came out to play. They didn't let them get anything going, even when they had the short field. You guys managed to come up with the stop. So what got them going today?
Well, all year the defense has been doing it, and they just, to put up a goose egg in the first round of the playoffs against a very good team. I really like what Bain does with Franklin, and for us to put up a goose egg was excellent. Offensively, not our best day, but we still had Desson, who got an 80-yard touchdown, and some other guys who stepped up. So that's the way you got to do it, and very excited about next week, and we're home again. So get all the fans out here, and let's have another game.
Is this just one of those games that you guys kind of worked to offensively? It wasn't, you guys just did enough, but it was, everything came together as far as just like playing sound football throughout the 4 quarters?
Yeah, I mean, what I tell the kids is you got to play sound football all the time, and they did it, and especially defense, we did it. And then offensively, we're usually a little more explosive, and like I said, we had some explosive plays, but we never got the rhythm what we're used to. So we'll work on that this week, and we'll be ready for the next round. It's just great to have this senior group. You know, now they're 18-2 in the last 20 games, and to have them play like the way they've been playing is very impressive, and I'm just excited for them.
All right, on to the
All right,
next round.
thanks.
How excited are you for that?
Oh, the next round? I mean, one round at a time. Like I said, it's just a hurdle, one hurdle at a time. So we got over the first hurdle. Next Friday, we got to get over the second hurdle, and then we got to continue it. So, yeah, we're very excited, and, you know, we're ready. And I think it's Weymouth, so we're ready to take them on.
Congratulations on the win.
All right, thanks. LeBron.
First game of the season, quite the intense game. How are you guys just able to not get frustrated and stay the course?
Yeah, I told the boys to stay poised, you know what I mean? I told the boys to stay poised, you know what I mean? Keep their head, and let's finish it out strong, you know what I mean? Our practice is this intense. We practice at this intensity level, so these guys are used to it. I know it got a little out of control, but, you know, sometimes our practices is like that, you know what I mean? It gets a little chippy, but we used to playing at that kind of level.
They had a big lead. They had a double-digit lead earlier. You guys cut it down, came back. How were you guys just able to just withstand every run that they was came at you guys?
I teach these guys never to give up. You know what I mean? These guys never give up. You know what I mean? They came out through the first punch. You know what I mean? We practice those kind of scenarios, down 10. You know what I mean? I'll put a group together, like, listen, you guys got to come back. So our guys are used to that. You know what I mean? We try to put everything together in practice to make sure they prepare for every scenario, everything we'll see in the game.
How's it feel just to get the first win of the season, man?
I'm happy, man. I'm happy. It feels real good. I'm really excited about it. You know, last year, you know, we definitely got off to a slow start. So this is definitely off to the right start for sure.
Okay, congratulations.
Appreciate you.
How did you like the ball movement and some of the looks that you got, especially from the perimeter? You guys kind of started inside, then worked your way outside. And
yeah, overall the ball movement was good. We thought we had an advantage on the inside, but overall the ball movement was really good. Again, those patches when we didn't play as well as we needed to, that's when the ball got stuck, and we had guys trying to make plays one-on-one. They started to deny us some. And we just didn't make great decisions in some of those patches. But overall, again, I said 32 minutes. I thought we played really good. The ball movement was great. We shared it, had 15 assists, which is great, but just needed to have 3 or 4 less turnovers. So, again, that's stuff we can correct, that's stuff we can clean up, and, you know, and we'll go back to work in a couple of days. We'll take tomorrow off and go back to work on, what's the day, Monday? We'll go back to work on Wednesday.
They threw a press at you guys. How easy is it when you have a guy like Clinton with the guards, when they try to deny the guards and they could get him the ball, he could break out that press and get your offense?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like I said, he's very familiar with everything that we're doing. He's confident. He's comfortable. You know, he's been here for a while now, and he's skilled. You know, he's a skilled player. I mean, so yeah, there's a lot of things he has in his toolbox, and ball handling and passing is one of them.
All All right, Sean, man, you guys came in here, overcame 3 fumbles that got them back into the game, and then you guys just put that drive in the second half. How will you guys just overcome those fumbles?
We just stuck together, like teams should. We're a family, so we just had to get that dirty work in, dirty yards, you know what I'm saying? Hold that ball high and tight. We knew at the beginning those mistakes were all on us. We were just being ourselves. It should not have been this close of a game. If we just wrap up those mistakes and move on, we're going to have a great playoff run, in my opinion.
Yeah, that first half was really a dogfight back and forth. What did you guys do second half to keep them out the end zone? Because they were driving, and then you guys got that big fumble right there in that second half.
Yeah, second half we just kind of stayed out into a more spread formation to stop the run, and it worked. And we were covering the pass great too, and we just tackling was our key, and we tackled, and the outcome.
Yeah, you guys are moving on to the next round.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you just to keep on playing and a chance to get back at Gillette.
Fully excited. I want my revenge so bad. We came up short last year, and everybody's doubting us. Not a soul thought we were beating them tonight, and look what we did. So all I'm gonna say is, keep waiting. Just keep waiting.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Came out here for 3 turnovers on the night. Just talk about the defense and how well you guys played today.
Coach put in a great game plan. We always, Coach Serio, I give all the credit to him, man. We just execute his game plan every week, and we work hard in practice to get better at it every day.
How were you guys able to slow them down, to slow down?
I'd say that we worked hard all week, and we prepared for that. We worked through their plays. We played through all of that stuff, and our coach really he showed us the way to beat them.
At playoff football, you gotta bring another level of intensity, hit an extra gear. Do you feel like this week of practice leading up to this game that you guys are just ready for that task of trying to win the state championship?
Absolutely, yeah. We upped it a little bit in practice, and we worked even harder to prepare for this team. Even if we were a higher seed, it didn't really matter because playoffs is just a different animal.
And lastly, how you guys will be able to carry this into the next round and just keep it going, especially defensively?
Yeah, no, it's we're excited. We're happy for the win, but we're gonna stay grounded and we're gonna move on to the next week and be prepared for whoever we have. I don't remember.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Dom, you guys came out here. Offense just did enough for you guys to win. Just talk about how you guys played today.
Yeah, it wasn't overall great. We came out here, obviously got the win, but everything that could have went wrong. We weren't disciplined. We got as many flags as possible. We just weren't in the right mindset, especially me leading this offense. I just didn't do a great job today. I hope to come back next week against I'm pretty sure it's Weymouth. I just hope we could pull out the win against them. This is a very hard fought Franklin team, and I'm glad we could just try and come out here and do our best and win the game.
What did that touchdown that you threw, the first touchdown pass you threw?
Yeah, I think the previous 2 drives we went 3 and out, and I just didn't feel good about myself. It was awful, I was so down on confidence, but my offensive coordinator came to me. He was like, he told me what to do. He was like, just calm down. Let's get our mind in the right mindset. So that's what I try to do. I breathe, I did some meditation on the sideline. Thought it through. Did my progressions, and I seen Destin, kind of wide open. We've been back and forth. He hasn't got as much receptions as he has, but this guy's phenomenal. I could throw him the ball, he'll get a touchdown any day of the week.
Defense, 3 turnovers. How key is that? And how key is the defense?
Yeah, absolutely. This defense, they've done it week in, week out. Even in practice, they give me hell. This defense could come out here. They saved the day probably 3 games in a row to me. This defense always saves the game for me. They do a phenomenal job at putting me in comfortable spots. They never make me feel worried when I'm on the sideline watching them. They just do a great job of what they do, and I'm glad they're on my team.
All right, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
All right, man, you guys, first game of the season. Really intense game, man. Just how are you feeling out there?
Yeah, we're feeling great coming in. We're all filled with confidence. We had to settle in a little bit. Pre-game jitters, get that out of our system, and then it was game on. We know what we're here to do. We know it was going to be a dogfight, and came out on top.
What was working for you? It seemed like that second half you really found your stroke. Was that just letting it go?
Yeah, that's just trusting my work, trusting all my reps that I put in for this game, and I was just letting it go. Got a lot of confidence.
Definitely. They made a few runs. They took a lead. You guys they had a double-digit lead. Then you guys cut it down. You guys took the lead, and it came back. I mean, what did you guys tell yourselves when they were making that run to go like that back and forth place?
We just knew to stay the course. Like, we've been in this situation times before, and we didn't waver. And this game is no different. Like, we didn't waver at all. We knew how much time we had left, and we knew the game was far from over. We just had to string together a couple of stops, and we knew we weren't going to get it all back in one possession. So just possession by possession. And
all right, man. Congratulations on the win.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Defensively, how did you like the rotation that you guys were doing? And you affected a lot of shots at the rim. Like they try to attack you at the rim. There was a lot of altered shots. How do you like the way you guys play overall defensively?
I think we didn't play up to our standards, to be honest. I mean, I did affect a lot of shots at the rim, but that also meant that we were getting beat. So that means that we have to just change little things. I hope that's something I can improve on this year, being a defensive anchor and blocking shots or altering shots. But it probably means that we have to change something. Like, we're getting beat too much, so that I'm getting put in that position. But that's something for next game.
Before the season started, you said this is one of the best shooting teams that you've been a part of since you've been here. You think we got a glimpse of that? You guys a couple guys made multiple threes, and there were a lot of good looks that didn't fall. But do you feel like we got a little glimpse of how good you guys could be from beyond the arc?
Well, we shot 40%, 41% from the three-point line, so I think that kind of showed. And we shot 27 threes. I think Coach has made an emphasis that we want to shoot more threes than in the previous years. I think if you want to win modern basketball, you have to shoot threes. But I think we didn't settle. I think we established ourselves inside, and I did that, and Devin did that, and Prince did that, and Jaden Zachary did that. And then when you establish yourself inside, I think you are going to create these shots from outside, and I think that's what we did, and I think that's why we shoot a good percentage tonight, and I think that's something that we got to keep trying to go to, or keep trying to maintain towards the season.
Oh man, we are back. All right, highlights. We got football and basketball highlights. Actually, we got college basketball. You got a little bit of high school basketball highlights. So we got Stoneham versus Abington, Franklin versus Andover, Sutton versus Kip, Bush Academy versus Reason Prep, and then Fairfield versus Boston College game. And then we'll go to the top 10, and then we're coming back to make our game picks. It's time for our top 10 plays from week number 9 in the postseason. At number 10, we go to Peabody, where the Tanners took on Arlington in the first-round matchup. Eli Batista double coverage, but that doesn't stop him from making the catch and the touchdown for Peabody. At number 9, we go to Lawrence, where Lynn Classic quarterback Brian Vaughn Jr. finds John Nasty, and he breaks one tackle, and then he's off to the races for a Rams touchdown. At number 8, it is Sutton High's Josh Farrell, who scrambles, he breaks free, he tosses it up to Cam Benedict, who was wide open, and he takes it 60 yards for a touchdown. At number 7, it's Lynn Classic quarterback Brian Vaughn Jr. once again. This time he finds Jabin Pierre, who beats the coverage, and he sprints into the end zone for a Rams touchdown. At number 6, once again, we're back at Lawrence. This time, Lynn Classical kicks it off, and Urin Reyes of Lawrence, he picks it up. He finds a little alley. He hits the corner, and then he's off to the races for a Lancers touchdown. Lawrence would win this one in a shootout 38-30. At number 5, we go to Andover, where the Warriors took on Franklin in the first-round matchup. Dominic Papa drops back. He finds Chris Desson, who was wide open, and then Desson shows off the speed as he gets into the end zone for a Warriors touchdown. At number 4, it is Abington quarterback Michael Riley, who throws it up for Kingston McKellen, and he mosses the defender on his way to the end zone. At number 3, we go to Manning Field for the first round matchup between Kip and Sutton. Mornell Castro takes the short pass. He makes one defender miss. He hits the corner, cuts back, and he once again shows off the speed as he bursts into the end zone for a 75-yard touchdown. At number 2, it is BC High versus Taunton in their first round matchup. Taunton quarterback drops back, passes it, but it is well defended. Cyril Cox, he picks it off on the tip, and then he is off to the end zone. In our number 1 play, it is back to BCI versus Taunton, where Marshall Rice picks off Taunton quarterback, and Rice does the rest, cuts back a few times, breaks a few tackles, and he shows off the speed for an Eagles touchdown in their win. All right, and we are back. Oh, we got to give a shout out to the Lynn Rams. Lynn Rams, I believe their 9U team and their 12U team have advanced to the regional championship. They won the state championships over the weekend, so now they're going to be playing in the regionals, I believe, this weekend. So congratulations to the Lynn Rams
That's
team.
dope.
Yeah.
Congrats to them.
Yeah. Shoot, what do we got? I had a story. I had this random story. Remember, because I was running low on gas, and then there was this one time I was hanging out with this girl, and the car broke. The car stopped in the middle of the road because she ain't put gas in her car.
Damn.
Twice. This happened twice.
Same person?
Same person.
Do you still associate yourself with this person?
Nah.
I'm glad you do.
Nah, this was a while ago. The second time, I was just like, I'm like, girl, put gas in your car.
That's what we consider. She's a daredevil. She's a risk taker.
Big time risk taker. Because once my gas light comes on, I got to find the gas station.
Who you tell? I get nervous.
Yeah, me too. UFC got... I think UFC got something going on this weekend. I saw quickly before we do our top 10. They got there's 2 title fights this weekend. Pereira and Prochaska, and then Pavlovich and Aspinall on UFC. So that's what happened. UFC 295. We ain't got no boxing update for y'all. Everything's happening next week, so we'll talk a little more about boxing next week. Let's go to our game picks. We're going to start with Thursday Night Football. Oh, my goodness. Carolina at Chicago.
I'm going to. Who's the quarterback for Chicago now?
I have no idea.
Some young boy. I'm just going to go with Carolina. I think I'm going to give him a chance.
Agreed. I'm going with Carolina. Patriots are in Germany. They might as well just keep them in Germany the way they play. They're playing the Colts.
Who you say?
Patriots and Colts are in Germany, but yeah.
I mean, you were telling. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta. Yep. Okay.
Houston at Cincinnati.
You gotta prove it to me. I had to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals too. They're kind of hitting their stride right now, but hey, if CJ wins this one, you don't have my attention.
Otherwise,
New Orleans at Minnesota. The Josh Dobbs effect.
Oh, yeah, Stevie ain't here. Forgot we was talking about that. Shout out to me. What you say again?
New Orleans and Minnesota.
My bad. Minnesota.
Green Bay at Pittsburgh.
You didn't pick.
Oh, I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
All right.
Green Bay at Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna go with. I gotta call Pittsburgh.
Same. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. Tennessee at Tampa. I think Will Levis is starting quarterback for the Titans.
Oh, I was picking. I gotta go with Baker. Baker started to get on my good side again. I ain't gonna lie. Baker been balling. I ain't gonna lie. He been balling.
I'm gonna just say the Bucs because the Titans are trash.
Yeah, that's why I did too.
San Francisco at Jacksonville.
Yeah, what's up with Debo? Come back.
I have no idea.
Come back around the block.
I have no idea. I haven't seen no updates.
Damn. Who you say?
49ers and Jaguars.
You know, my brain's all over the place. You know what? I'm going to go with them 49ers.
No better time to release those pass rushes than now, especially you got a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. So 49ers coming off a bye. Cleveland at Baltimore.
I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Same, I'll go with Baltimore as well. Atlanta at Arizona.
You know what's crazy about this season? These teams be having new quarterbacks every week. So I'm going to go with, this is an awful game. I'm just going to go with Atlanta.
You going with Atlanta?
Yeah.
It's Atlanta, so I'm going with Arizona because Atlanta finds ways to lose games.
They definitely do.
Detroit at Los Angeles Chargers.
The Lions, man.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions. New York at Dallas.
New York who?
Giants.
Oh, Dallas, man.
Yeah, I'm going with
You
Dallas.
didn't see the first go around?
I'm going with Dallas as well. Washington at Seattle.
I think Seattle's going to bounce back from their game they had.
Denver at Buffalo.
Who are you picking?
I'm going with Washington. New York at Vegas.
I'm going my Raiders, man. I'm a Raider, you know.
Same. I'm going with the Raiders as well.
Raider pride.
All
back in
about
stride.
all about the Raiders. And then Monday Night Football, Denver at Buffalo.
I got to go with Buffalo.
I can't make nothing of Buffalo, so I'm just going to pick Denver because I have no idea what's up with Buffalo. Check us out.
They will let Allen just do what he wants this game. A couple of them, you know how it goes.
Yeah, that could either be a good or a bad thing.
It's an awful thing.
Oh, man. Shoot. Check us out, lintv.org. Check him out, Mr. Burton23 on Instagram. Make sure y'all hit that follow button too. LCTV After the Whistle. We got new stuff up on there. Make sure you check it out. You know, shout out to Pedro, the guy that makes this go around. Shout out to my headphones. Yeah. Shout out to Beats by Dre, providing me these headphones. I'm gonna stop. We'll see y'all next week.